Robs, we're back with Goethe's The Sorrows of Young Werther. I'm late on this entry, which was September 10th. I forgot to do it. So, good news is there's no entries until October 20th. So, let's get on with this. September 10th, 1771. Oh, what a night, Wilhelm. Henceforth, I can bear anything. I shall not see her again. Oh, why can I not fall on your neck, and with floods of tears and raptures convey to you all the passions which overwhelm my heart? Here I sit, gasping for breath, struggling to calm myself. I wait for day, and at dawn the horses are to be at the door. And she is sleeping calmly, little suspecting that she has seen me for the last time. I am free. I have had the courage, in a conversation of 2 hours, not to betray my intention. Oh, Wilhelm, what a conversation it was. Albert had promised to come with Charlotte to the garden immediately after supper. I stood on the terrace under the tall chestnuts and watched the setting sun. I saw it sink for the last time over this delightful valley and gentle stream. I had often visited the same spot with Charlotte and watched that glorious sight, and now I walked up and down the avenue which was so dear to me. A secret sympathy had frequently drawn me thither even before I knew Charlotte, and we were delighted when, early in our acquaintance, we discovered that we loved the same spot, which is as romantic as any of the gardener's art has ever produced. From between the chestnuts there is a broad view. I remember that I have mentioned all this in a previous letter and have described the tall mass of beech trees at the end, and how the avenue grows darker and darker as it winds its way among them, till it ends in an enclosure which has all the mysterious charm of solitude. I can recall the strange feeling of melancholy which came over me for the first time I entered that dark retreat. At bright midday, I seemed to feel even then that it would some day be the scene of so much happiness and misery. I had spent half an hour absorbed in the bittersweet thoughts of parting and seeing her again when I heard them coming up the terrace. I ran to meet them. I trembled as I took her hand and kissed it. When we reached the top of the terrace, the moon rose from behind the wooded hill. We talked about many things, and almost without noticing it, approached the secluded spot. Charlotte entered and sat down, Albert beside her. I did the same, but I was so excited that I could not remain seated. Are down. Great time to have a sneezing fit. But I was so excited that I could not remain seated. It's a combination book of The Sorrows of Young Werther, the new Melusina, and Novelle. But I'm reading from The Sorrows of Young Werther. I was restless and miserable. Charlotte drew our attention to the beautiful effect of the moonlight, which threw a silver hue over the terrace in front of the beech trees. It was a glorious sight, all the more striking because of the complete darkness which surrounded the spot where we were. We remained silent, and after a while Charlotte said, "Whenever I walk by moonlight, it brings to my mind my beloved and departed friends, and I am filled with thoughts of death and afterlife. We shall live, Werther," she continued, with a warm but feeling voice, But shall we know one another again? What do you think? What do you say? Charlotte, I said as I took her hand in mine, and my eyes filled with tears, we shall see each other again, here and hereafter. I could say no more. Why, Wilhelm, should she put me Why, Wilhelm, should she put this question to me just at the moment when the anguish of our parting filled my heart? And she continued, do those departed ones know of us down here? Do they know when we are well that we recall their memory with the fondest love? In the quiet of evening, the shade of my mother always hovers round me. When I sit in the midst of her children, my children, when they are assembled about me, as they used to be with her, and then I raise my anxious eye to heaven and wish she could look down upon us and see how I keep the promise I made to her in her last moments on her deathbed to be a mother to her children. What's up, bruvs? This is The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe. With what emotion do I cry out, "Forgive me, dearest mother, forgive me if I cannot completely take your place. I do my best. They are clothed and fed, and still better, they are cared for and loved. Could you but see, dear saint, the peace and harmony of our life, you would praise God with the deepest feelings of gratitude, to whom, in your last hour, you addressed such fervent prayers for our happiness." This is what she said. O Wilhelm, who can do justice to her words? How can the cold, dead letter convey the heavenly expressions of her spirit? Albert interrupted her gently. This affects you too deeply, dear Charlotte. I know you dwell on such recollections with deep feeling, but I implore you, oh Albert, she continued, I am sure you do not forget the evenings when we three used to sit at the little round table, when father was away and the little ones had gone to bed. You often had a good book with you, but seldom read it. The conversation of that wonderful soul was more than anything else, that beautiful, bright, gentle, and yet ever active woman. God alone knows how I have often prayed in tears that I might be like her. I threw myself at her feet and covered her hand with 1,000 tears. Charlotte, I exclaimed, God's blessing and your mother's spirit are upon you. Oh that you had no Oh that you had known her, she said, pressing my hand. She was worthy of being known by you. I thought I should faint. Never had I received praise so magnificent. She continued, and yet she was doomed to die in the prime of her life, when her youngest boy was 6 months old. Her illness was but short. She was calm and resigned. It was only for her children, especially the youngest, that she felt unhappy. When her end drew near, she asked me to bring them to her. I took them to her. The little ones knew nothing of their approaching loss. The elder ones were overcome with grief. They stood around the bed, and she raised her hands and prayed over them. Then she kissed them one after the other and sent them away. Be a mother to them, she said to me. I gave her my hand. You are promising much, my child, she said. A mother's loss, or a mother's love and a mother's eye, I have often felt by your tears of gratitude that you know what that means. Show it to your brothers and sisters, and be as obedient and faithful to your father as a wife. You will be his comfort. She asked for him. He had gone out to conceal his intolerable anguish. He was completely broken. Albert, you were in the room. She heard someone moving about, inquired who it was, and asked you to approach. She looked at us both steadily, reassured that we should be happy, happy with each other. Albert embraced her and cried, We are happy, and we always shall be. Even af- Even Albert, tranquil Albert, had quite lost his composure, and I was moved beyond expression. And this woman, she continued, had to leave us, Werther. God must we part with everything we hold dear in this world. Nobody felt this more deeply than the children. They cried for a long time afterward and complained that the black men had carried away their dear mamma. Charlotte rose. I was so disturbed and shaken that I could not move, and held her hand. Let us go, she said. It is late. She wanted to withdraw her hand, but I held it. We shall see each other again, I cried. We shall recognize each other under whatever conditions. I am going, I continued, going willingly. But if I had to say forever, I could not bear it. Adieu, Charlotte, adieu. Albert, we shall meet again. Yes, tomorrow, I suppose, she answered lightly. Tomorrow. How I felt the word. Oh, she little knew when she drew her hand away from mine. They walked down the avenue. I stood gazing after them in the moonlight, then threw myself on the ground and wept, sprang up, and ran out on the terrace. And there below, in the shade of the linden trees, I saw her white frock gleaming as she disappeared near the garden gate. I stretched out my arms and looks like it says she vanished. She gone. All right. See you October 20th. That's a month away, bruv. All right. That's all.